Hitting 1,000 subscribers made me reflect on how this channel started. And one of my biggest videos is about being a bottle girl. Back then in my early 20s, I was speaking from the middle of it. Now that I'm 27, I'm removed from nightlife and I see everything differently. Today I want to go down memory lane and really talk about nightlife. The good, the bad, and the stuff nobody tells you about before you step into that world. Let's get into it, angels.
First things first, I know why you all are here. We're going to talk about money. Everyone knows you can make a extravagant amount of money in nightlife. I've seen my 9 to 5 checks in one night working nightlife. I've made my 9 to 5 checks from one customer working nightlife. But one thing they won't tell you is that you're not going to make this every night. Sometimes I walked out of work with thousands in my pockets. Sometimes I walked out of work with a couple hundreds. It's not consistent at all. And that's something you have to get used to. If you want to make this your only source of income, don't expect the same amount of money every week. When you're working a 9 to 5, you know if you clock in all 40 hours at the end of the week, you got $1,000 paycheck. That's not the same in nightlife. You're not guaranteed a band every time you work. It doesn't work like that. So make sure you get that through your head. Now let's talk about how to make the money, because hospitality will only get you so far. You gotta have a good mouth game. And child, I can make a whole other video about mouth game. You gotta know how to talk. Not only do you need to know how to walk the walk, but girl, you gotta know how to talk the talk. You gotta talk these men out their wallets. You gotta be a good liar. At the end of the day, you're providing an experience for these people. You're selling a dream. And you better know how to sell it if you want to pay them bills. It's got to be in you. It just has to be in you. Going back to money, I'm sure a lot of women working in nightlife will tell you to save, save, save. It's very much easier said than done. Because I know when I first started out, I was blowing that money. I was blowing my money. I was working a 9 to 5 and I was doing nightlife on the side. So I wasn't saving any of my nightlife money, girl. I was blowing it. I was having a ball with them tips, girl. I bought me a new car. Girl, I was having a ball. Not only do you need to save, you also need to invest. Invest in yourself. Your face is your brand. Your face is going to make you money. Your body is going to make you money. I'm sorry, it sounds very shallow, but it's the truth. Like I said, you are selling an experience. You're selling yourself. Don't get in this industry if you don't want to face that truth. This man ain't spending money on you just because he wants to. He likes you. He thinks you're pretty. That's why he's tipping you. Invest in yourself. Keep your hair done. Keep your nails done. Keep your toes done. Get your lashes done. Keep yourself up to par. One lounge I worked at, our manager would not let us work if we did not have on makeup or our hair did. And that's just what it was. That was her club. That's how she wanted her waitresses to present themselves. And that's what you had to do if you wanted to work. You're gonna make more money the better you look. I can't sit here and tell you how much you're going to make. It depends on the club, and it ultimately depends on you. There's money in that club. There's money to be made. Are you gonna make it? That money is not gonna come to you. You gotta go out there and get it. Let's talk about another pro in nightlife. Working in nightlife was a huge confidence boost. I've always been very shy and very timid my entire life. I honestly was always awkward. I did not know how to talk to people. I did not know how to carry a conversation. Working in the service industry, you can't be any of those things. You have to be confident. You have to let your customers know that you are in control. If you want that money, you got to let them know you're in control. You cannot let anyone run all over you. You have to stand up for yourself. You have to know who you are. I did not like confrontation. If I felt like something was going to make a big commotion, I put me and my feelings to the side and said, forget it. But no, working in nightlife, you cannot let that happen. You have to stick up for yourself. There's a big collection of women. There's different views, different thoughts, different morals. You have to stand your ground and know exactly who you are, what you're going for, and what you ain't going for. Working in this industry really taught me to stand up for myself. If you don't know yourself before you walk in that door, trust me, you're going to know yourself when you walk out that door. One thing I will say, do not lose yourself. It's very easy. Find yourself, but do not lose yourself. Another pro, networking. You are going to meet some people that you would have never come across in the outside world. You would have never ran into these people working your 9 to 5. I met lawyers, I met business owners, I met so many entrepreneurs that have put me on so much game. I would have never ran into these people working my 9 to 5. I ran into so many entrepreneurs that motivated me to become one. I ran into former bottle girls that started businesses with their bottle girl money. I've come across so many people from so many walks of life and nightlife. Never know who's gonna walk through that door, and you never know how they're gonna change your life. While we're on the topic of your life being changed, make sure you're using nightlife as a tool, not a lifestyle. Do not let nightlife be your only identity. Let this be a job. Do not let it be your lifestyle. If you're gonna do this, do it smart. Separate the two, church and state. There should be separation. After I left that club, no one knew I was a bottle girl. It was not my identity. It was just a job. It was just something to help me get by. It was just fast money. I did not let it overcome who I truly was. Here are some cons that nobody will talk about. Mental exhaustion. You're putting on a front every night. You're lying to yourself and you're lying to others. That gets so exhausting. Constantly lying to men, constantly being hit on, constantly being groped, constantly being catcalled, being called anything but a child of the Lord. You're in a building with people full of drugs and alcohol. They ain't praising the Lord up in there. It gets exhausting. Seeing people fight every night, seeing people shoot, seeing people throw up, seeing people getting so intoxicated that they're thrown out the club. It gets exhausting to see this every week. You got to determine if that money is worth it. It's not always glitz and glamour. It gets grimy and disgusting at times. I have plenty of stories to tell about what I've seen in the club. Another thing people won't tell you about is peer pressure. I was working with girls who had other sources of income. I ain't judging. They had other sources of income that were not 9 to 5s outside of the club. So they were making more than me. They were bringing in more than me. They were pulling up to work in their Benzes, brand new purses, bust down, everything. And I was hanging with them. So I felt like I had to look like them as well. I had to have what they had because I was their friend. I was spending money to keep up with their lifestyle because I was hanging out with them. I was pressured to look like them. I was pressured to live a lifestyle that they were living. I was going broke trying to look like I wasn't. Working backwards. But that is what this lifestyle will do to you. Do not lose yourself. Something else they don't talk about is stability. These clubs are closing left and right. I was on TikTok the other day. I think it was this restaurant called Sweet Lounge. These waitresses were like, we pulled up one day and the club was closed. They didn't tell us nothing. Imagine if that was these girls' only source of income. And it's not even imagined. It probably is their only source of income. Imagine you pull up at your job one day and it's just shut down. It's not the same as being laid off. You're not getting a severance package. You're not being told in advance. You're just without a job. You don't get any notification. You can't go to HR because it's a club. This is not an office. This is a club. And it's ran like a club. Don't expect it to be ran like a traditional job because it's not. It's not at all. There's no stability. There's no health insurance. There's no life insurance. There's no vision insurance. There's nothing. It's just money. That's all it is. You're nothing but money to the owner. They're nothing but money to you. You don't mean anything to these clubs. You can be here today and gone tomorrow. There is no stability in this lifestyle. I cannot stress it enough. Have a exit plan. Have some money saved. If you bought a Benz working in nightlife, make sure you can maintain the cost of that Benz once you leave nightlife. If you bought a high rise working in nightlife, make sure you can pay that rent after you leave nightlife. See me, I bought a Nissan. I ain't do too much, okay? I didn't. Before I left nightlife, I saved. I was always told saving your money is gonna save you. I made sure when I stopped working nightlife, I had some money to the side to pay the bills until I found a stable 9 to 5. Make sure you have an exit plan. You cannot do this forever. I'm 27. I would never step foot in the club at this age. I can barely drink without thinking I'm dying the next day. My bedtime is 9 p.m. I could never work nightlife ever again. Make sure you have an exit plan. Please get out of there. You cannot do this forever. You cannot. You should not. I would not. I am not. No, but in all seriousness, like I said, my most popular video on my channel was me working nightlife in my early 20s, and I have a completely different perspective on it now that I'm almost 30. Not too much, not too much. And I do see that it's continuing to garner a lot of views, but I just wanted to let the girls know it is not always good. I will say it did change my life. As a single mom, I was able to do a lot because I was making a lot and I did not have a traditional 9 to 5. So I was able to spend lots of time with her, to attend every school event, to buy her whatever she wanted, to go on trips whenever we wanted, to not have to worry about PTO, to not have to worry about if I had to take off work to do this, to do that. I will say that was a plus, but at the end of the day, I was making money for my child by being an object. And I had to realize that I was also raising a little girl, and would I want her to see me this way? But no shame, because I was in my early 20s. I was only doing what I knew. I was doing what I could with what I had. So I would never shame myself for what I did to get us by, because I got us by. We got by. So I will say, you want to do it, make sure you do it smart. If you have to do it, I completely understand, but please do not lose yourself in this game. I worked in a handful of clubs. I've done it on and off. I have lots of more advice. If you guys need it, just comment below and I'll give you another video on this. Or DM me on Instagram. Girl, I'm always here. If you are serious about entering this lifestyle, go back and watch my first video, then come back to this one. They go hand in hand. I'm here for you, as always. Thank you for watching, angels. See you in the next video.